Hey guys, this is Divyansh, and on the popular request of about 10 or 11 people, I have decided to start vlogging. And which better way to vlog than post it on your YouTube channel, which already has 700 followers somehow. Um, I have decided to keep it simple, and instead of focusing on 100 different things I want to talk about, I'm just going to focus on writing, about my life as a writer, about making a career in writing and screenwriting in India, the kind of projects I'm working on, web series, the kind of people I'm meeting, industry insights, this, that. So that's what basically this channel is going to be all about. Um, it's what, 40 degrees here right now in the middle of June. Uh, Lights are off, no ACs, nothing. So you're gonna have to bear with my rambling while I sweat it all out. Basically, that's what this channel is now going to be about. It's my life as a writer in India, and I'm just going to talk about things about how you can make a career in writing in India and everything like that. So, the first topic of today, since most of people here are from Quora or they know me from Quora, I thought about, why not just start talking about my Quora strategies and, you know, um, what worked for me back in 2016 when I started gaining my followers, what has worked for me since, and what is my current Quora strategy. I'm just briefly going to talk about these things. And if you want to grow on Quora, these things are definitely going to help you a lot. The first thing which I remember, it was, I think, in the middle of 2016 when there was this craze of us teenage Quora writers. We were in our late teens, and there were a bunch of guys like me who all wanted to make it like big, and we used to compete for views and following and everything. And there were jealousies and controversies and shit and everything else under the sun. What worked for me initially was that I found my niche. I started writing about Sherlock, about fictional crossovers, about different fictional characters, meeting other different fictional characters, and how things would happen. And because no one was writing that at the time, it got me immediate recognition, immediate following, immediate surge in the number of views. Also, at the time, as a strategy, I used to put the link of my profile at the end of my every answer, or we used to end it with silly, like, you can call me this of Quora or that of Quora. That was quite popular at the time. So, all the popular, you have the son of Quora, mom of Quora, this of Quora, that of Quora. It stemmed from those 2016, 2017 days. And I used to write Sherlock, you can call me Sherlock on Quora or something like that. And that's how, because obviously I was fascinated with the character of Sherlock. I have now named my dog Sherlock. So that was a cool name to catch on. And, once you start leaving your signatures or, something at the end of every single answer of yours, it helps people in remembering, because, they don't remember your face until unless, of course, you are like me, putting your pictures in your Quora answers. But it's very hard to get just recognized from your writings. And so, leaving your answers with a signature, with something cool, some kind of uniqueness, it's definitely a good approach. God, this sunlight is so bad. Anyway, so that's one of the approaches which I adopted back in 2016-17. Then in the coming 1 or 2 years, because I had published novels, and this was the only way by which I could market my novels. So I started ending instead of the signature, I replaced it with like, I've published Secret of the Himalayan Treasure or Gangs of Pommen. You can grab it from Amazon or stuff like that. They worked obviously because it helped me in gaining a writing career. The books thankfully sold well. I got my start which I needed. So obviously it's very, very, it works. Leaving things with signature, it works. That's probably one of the reasons why most of the Korans these days end their answers with the Instagram profile links, because it helps, in growing your social media presence. Um, After that, one of the strategies, like right now, I'm at a phase where I'm not focused on strategies, because I'm at this point not, I don't care about the views and the upvotes and followers anymore. I don't even like go back and check them. Ki if a new answer has like 1,000 upvotes, it won't, um excite me anymore. A couple of days ago, an answer got like 400, 500,000 views. I was like, yeah, okay, this is cool. What's new? So the first time when these things obviously happen with you, when you have your first 100,000 view answer, 500,000 view answer, it's a very big deal. um, right now I'm at a stage where it's just about, because Quora has given me so much, and because I love this platform and I wish to write every single day, I have to put some kind of content out. Otherwise I don't feel complete, by the end of it. So that is the reason why I am, like, my answers are not focused on a particular niche at the moment. I am just writing about the things I know about. So whether it's writing advice, whether it's advice on personal finances, which I'm learning a lot right now, whether it is productivity, motivational content, uh, the power of hard work, the power of internet, the power of putting your stories out there and how it can actually change your life. I'm talking about a lot of things. Dating advice, relationship advice, wo to hai hi, like it's just there. I don't know why I answer those things, but I do end up answering quite a lot of those. And of course, then there are the stories, which I write. Currently, there is no strategy that I'm following, because Quora's algorithm is such that it's not, uh, the reach is not the kind which it used to be. So things are a lot different. But I do end up putting my pictures a lot in my Quora answer, and I get a lot of flack for it, especially from the orthodox people who think Quora is so much pure and it's not a social media, it is a platform for knowledge. Well, it is now a social media, but it hurts a lot of people who are like that you are, making Quora into Instagram or stuff like that. So just clarifying that out about why I put my pictures in my Quora answers. Number one, it's so good for visibility. See, if you are getting popular on Instagram or somewhere else, you always have your face attached with your content, and it's very good for you to get recognized by it. On Quora, that is not the case. Shit, this sunlight is so bad. Yeah, this is much better. Anyway, so it's not the case on Quora. So once I start attaching my pictures over there, it just feels so surreal to go out on the street and be recognized. To be like, a few months before the lockdown, I was at a friend's, my cousin's place, and his friends were around, and we were all chatting and playing and stuff like that. And one of the guys happened to know me from Quora, and he was like, he heard my name and he was a bit curious, like, can dekha hoga something, and he just approached me. He's like, आप कोरा पे लिखते हो क्या भैया? And it just felt so good, to just be recognized in such random spaces and such random spheres. I have been recognized on an airplane, on a bus, on a train, in a metro, in local trains. So I think all the popular vehicular modes are covered. And then there are a bunch of spaces on, sitting in Starbucks, and some guy who's sitting across, he has been following me on Quora and stuff for a while. And he just texted me like, dude, I'm just sitting right across, can I come and talk to you? And stuff like that. So the primary reason is recognition. And there's nothing really wrong about that. If your content is getting popular on the internet, and if you want people to know you by your face also, that's a very good thing. Number two, of course, is it's incredibly good for branding. Whether people like you that you've been putting your pictures in your answers or not, they'll obviously recognize you, and they cannot forget your face that easily if it's being plastered across on their feeds again and again. But there is a catch, because the more, if you overdo it, of course it's bad for you, and if you don't have the content to back it up, you are obviously going to end up losing your followers, and it's actually going to end up hurting you more. But so far it's been working for me, and you know, since I don't have any Quora strategy, if I feel like adding my picture and an answer, I just do it. I don't think whether how people are going to perceive it, how things are going to happen. But most of the answers, because if I'm writing about my life, my career, my experiences, so it helps that pictures accompany them. Plus, it's very, very good to help your followers connect with you and relate with you. So those are the primary reasons, I think, why I put my pictures in my answers. And I agree, I do end up overdoing it sometimes, but you're young and you're foolish. This is the age where you can make mistakes. Once you're married, like 2 to 3 years down the line, I don't think I'll be able to do all the things which I'm doing right now. So it's just about experimentation. I keep on experimenting. Things work, things don't, and I like to find out the things which are working for me. This is one of the things which has been working for me, and it's good. So it's already 11 minutes here. If I start making vlogs now, I can take them to half an hour, 1 hour also, but I like to end it here because that's what I wanted to talk about mostly at this point. This is going to be the first vlog. I'm not going to be able to edit it because I don't have the time. So sunlight aa rahi hai to aane do. I'm not going to put filters and edit it out and things and stuff like that. I just want to keep it pure and simple. It's like how you are communicating with your followers in a way. And do drop your queries, anything about writing, anything about making a career in writing, anything about networking, anything about insights of the publishing industry, insights about the entertainment industry, the current scenario about screenwriting for web series, bunch of other stuff, any kind of query. If you want tips on Quora, for anything else, everything is available for free. I also want some content ideas for my vlog, so I can make these kind of vlogs. Plus I'm soon gonna start talking about my writing life, my writing style, my experimentation with my own writing, how I learn things, how I apply them towards it, and how I'm at a very it's a very crazy stage, because I started out writing and I had the only focus was to become an author. And once I had that, I was quite confused about what I wanted to do. Do I just want to keep on churning out novels? And then screenwriting happened, and I obviously love web series, and this is something which is this is exploding right now. It's such a good time to be a writer for web series. You can get your ideas made into a TV show in a matter of months, in a matter of 1 year, and the entire country might just watch it. So it's some amazing work that I have in my hands right now. And so I'm obviously going to talk about all of these things too in the upcoming vlogs. I'll try to at least put out 5 vlogs in a week, and not leave it in between, so that there's this gap on this YouTube channel, which is quite bad if you are someone who is putting your content out on the internet. So yeah, just drop by your comments, text whatever you feel like. This is quite unedited, quite open bunch of videos that I'm going to put out, and all kinds of background noises, trains, aeroplanes, whatever, they are all going to come. You have to bear with that. So yeah, hope to see you guys around. Bye.